the sky. It is perhaps the only place on Earth that has yet to be fully conquered and colonized by life on Earth. Although it is vast, it is primarily empty, the only thing significant being giant masses of water vapor, which we call clouds. Beyond the seemingly infinite blue, however, is outer space. Often regarded as the final frontier, being able to travel and explore the cosmos could provide near-endless possibilities for any living being lucky enough to have the ability to do so. Unfortunately, we happen to be the only ones who are capable of accessing the universe.
So what if giant flying reptiles evolved to go to space? Sup guys, Dr. Realm Corp reporting to you from, and this is my speculative evolution project called Sternenleben. It's about how life on Earth could evolve to live in outer space conditions, how they would behave, and everything else you need to know about my spacefaring creatures. In today's episode, we'll be going over the early setup of how all of this would unfold, starting with a herbivorous pterosaur, a weird floating fruit, and how this species would avoid the second worst mass extinction in the history of multicellular life, and eventually diversify into many more fascinating creatures. Assuming you got the gist of it, we'll be heading right into the video. If I were to describe pterosaurs, they would be a distant brother of the dinosaurs while looking similar to their nephews, the birds. As on an evolutionary family tree, they are technically related to birds and dinosaurs, while being their own thing. Since they are archosaurs, they are also related to crocodiles and alligators, as seen on the family tree. But, like water and air, pterosaurs fly, while alligators and crocodiles swim. Being the first vertebrate to fly, pterosaurs have had millions of years to diversify and evolve into different species, from small fruit-eating tapijarids to giant predatory astarchids. They've pretty much filled every niche besides one. As far as we know, there hasn't been any giant herbivorous pterosaurs, which makes me kinda mad because this ecological niche has worked many times, like in giraffes and sauropods. In addition to the size limit of flying animals being capped out to however big Quetzalcoatlus was, it's kinda disappointing. So I've decided to create one for the series, which will serve as the ancestor for every spacefaring animal. Introducing the Tezcalipocus, a 20-foot tall pterosaur with a wingspan of 40 feet. You could say that this creature was an absolute unit. Except, like all other pterosaurs, they have to be lightweight. Despite their size, they still manage to fly, often for long distances, like some albatrosses. This is because of their symbiosis with bacteria in their gut that produce hydrogen as a byproduct. And since hydrogen is lighter than air, this helps the Tezcalipocus stay airborne. That and their hollow bones, hollow beaks, and their wingspan make this fictitious pterosaur an adept flyer. Tezcalipocuses are opportunistic herbivores. They'll often eat leaves, early grasses, and on occasion, nutritious fruits. One of them, which we'll get into later. They often competed against Quetzalcoatlus in North America, as they would regularly get into fights, sometimes because of territory, other times because the Quetzalcoatlus is hungry. More on that later. One of the Tezcalipocus' source of nutrition is this, a skydew, a distant relative of grapes that had a unique way of spreading seeds. This fruit is shaped similarly to a balloon. It has a thin membrane, which is the fruit itself, containing the seeds from its parent tree. The rest of the fruit is hollowed and filled with lighter-than-air gases, which makes the fruit float ever so slightly in the air once it ripens. Sometimes a Tezcalipocus, or some other tapirid, will eat the fruit from the air, causing the creature to carry and disperse the seeds elsewhere. The creature gets its vitamins, while the fruit gets to grow elsewhere. Over the years, the competition between Quetzalcoatlus and Tezcalipocus had become increasingly fierce. The former would hunt the latter more and more as fights went on. This causes the Tezcalipocus to fly higher and longer as to avoid competition, while the skydew also flew higher and became more cold-resistant during its ripened stage as to keep up. Eventually, however, the Quetzalcoatlus dominated, leaving the Tezcalipocus to disappear entirely, leaving it and its brothers, the dinosaurs, to meet the Coronado Cuatli, the only pterosaur to have survived the KT extinction. This is because of their near-permanent flight capabilities from its highly evolved wing structure, allowing it to soar for weeks on end, sometimes landing on the skydew, which has grown in size and even evolved to now grow in midair. What really allowed both the crowned eagle and the now evolved skydew to survive was through occasional anaerobic respiration and having a slowed down metabolism. Essentially, life was slow at the time for both organisms. But as the global winter from after the extinction passed, both organisms had essentially no competition and no need to land, meaning the only thing left to do was to diversify.